Hi there, I'm DJ Alex Brown and welcome to my gig log for today. Today I'll be doing the wedding of Katy and Manny here at Harbor Lights in Warwick, Rhode Island. Harbor Lights is a bit of an interesting venue because it has a few key features. Besides an event space, they also have a marina that's across the water that I'm showing you here. And they also have a golf course that goes kind of around the building where they hold events. So it's a very interesting place. There's a lot of beautiful scenery here, as you can see. But for the wedding today, it's a pretty simple wedding. I will be providing services for the ceremony, cocktail hour, and reception. Today we'll just have my basic lighting package because that was all that the bride wanted. Katy, the bride for this wedding, is actually a friend of my cousin's wife's sister. So I did my cousin's wedding, which I'm sure I've talked about in past videos. I did his wife's sister's wedding, so Becca's sister is Jess. I did Jess's wedding, and Jess recommended me to Katy for her wedding, and obviously Katy's getting married today. So this one's come right through the chain of referrals, which is really nice. So now we're gonna head to take a look at the ceremony space. There was a slight change of plans. The ceremony was originally supposed to be held outside on the lawn, but that was changed. Because this venue has a 3-hour setup time that they allow vendors in 3 hours early, it made it super easy for me to handle that change and get everything done on time and do this gig log. As I've mentioned in some of my past gig logs, I only do a gig log if the time allows, and with only 2 hours to set up ceremony, reception, and cocktail hour, sometimes I just can't swing all of that. Back to talking about the ceremony. So the ceremony is happening in the same room as the reception. This is something that's very common with venues, especially for spring and winter weddings. This venue does something that the Crown Plaza also does, which was where Jess, Katy's friend's wedding, was held a couple of years ago. So they put a pipe and drape wall up and have all the tables behind that wall and all the chairs in front for the ceremony. So I don't actually have to flip the entire room over, is what I call it, with setting up the DJ stuff during the cocktail hour. I can actually set the DJ stuff up behind that drape wall and maybe just move a speaker or two into place, as opposed to not being able to set up any of that stuff where it's going to end up, which obviously involves 2 people and carrying a lot of equipment and a very tight setup crunch. So it was really nice to have that. That's another thing that is allowing me to do this gig log right now. The ceremony went pretty smoothly. We did have one slight change. Normally I put the microphone, the lavalier microphone for the ceremony, on the officiant. And today we did have to switch that up because the officiant was also part of the bridal party, so she had a very nice dress with some spaghetti straps on that made it really hard for the mic to be kind of hidden. So I actually put it on the groom. It's not something that I'm very much a fan of because usually the groom is making little noises and getting choked up a little bit as they're getting married, and you could hear that through the speakers. So I always try and put it on the officiant. The officiant also does most of the talking. Luckily, with the mixer setup that I use for ceremonies, I have very good control of the audio, so I was able to handle some of that with the knowledge of sound that I have, and also some of the tuning of the microphones that I did. As I've mentioned in my past gig logs, I do a lot of tuning of microphones for ceremonies to prevent feedback, and the ceremony sounded very, very good today. I'm actually going to stick in a little clip of the ceremony so that you can hear how good it sounded.
Each other is a testament to the foundation they have built.
I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
On to the cocktail hour now. So cocktail hour is going on as I'm recording this, actually, and everything's going very smoothly. I just have a single speaker set up in there with my iPad playing the standard cocktail playlist that I have, which is just some jazz covers of popular love songs. I actually offer 2 cocktail hour playlists now. The other playlist is actually the one that I use for pre-ceremony music, which is when guests are coming in, and that is some quartet style covers of love songs as well. It's just a little bit of a different style. As I did mention, I did have to do some swapping of equipment over during the cocktail hour, which went pretty smoothly. I did that in only about 15 minutes time. That's also considering that the ceremony ran a couple minutes over and that I had to work around the catering staff, who was also flipping the room and moving those tables out. One thing I did notice is that they started to move some of my stuff because they wanted to put tables on one side of the room first, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I really don't like when people touch my stuff, especially when they try and roll my wires and they do it the wrong way. So the next event that we'll be taking a look at is going to be the reception and the entrances and everything. Now, in my past gig logs, I usually don't get a chance to record the entrances because it's just so much going on. As I don't have a helper for this wedding today, I probably will forget to record the entrances because, of course, my main priority is my actual job and not these gig logs, because at the end of the day, the experience for the bride and groom is paramount for me. That being said, the next couple of clips that you'll be seeing will be a recap of some of the special events such as the welcome, toasts, first dance, and the couple's introduction and the bridal party. There is a fairly large bridal party today, so it will be a lot to read off, and again, another reason that I might not get to record. So we just finished up with the major chunk of events for the night, the toasts, the introductions, the first dance, stuff like that. So they're serving dinner upstairs right now. All those things went very, very well. The toast did take longer than expected, but it should be okay as long as dinner runs within the time frames that it was expected to. There were a lot of hard names, last name pronunciations with this bridal party, and it was a fairly large bridal party. I think there was about 6 couples, so 6 sets of people, about 12 people plus the bride and groom. So there was a lot to announce. Luckily, I had the chance to chat on the phone with the bride and groom prior to the wedding day about a week ago, and confirm that I had all the pronunciations correct so that I could make sure that everything was correct today. Also, when I line everyone up prior to being introduced, I always run through the full name to make sure that I have the name correct, and if anyone, I always tell people, if I say your name wrong, please correct me now so that when I go upstairs and announce it, I get it correct. And with the amount of names tonight, it was really great that all those were written down phonetically and that I had them all correct. Unfortunately, I forgot to run the camera for the first dance and the entrances, but I did capture a little bit of the toasts. Unfortunately, there was just so much going on with switching music and announcing the different names that it was a lot to handle. Now, the bride's brother, Sam, who gave the second toast of the night, he actually came up to me a few minutes before I introduced everyone and said, "Hey, can you play a little music? I'm gonna fake it, make it look like I'm gonna sing a song, but I'm not actually going to." So I worked with him on that, and we had this really, really funny thing where he said, "Okay," and I coordinated with DJ beforehand, so DJ hit it, and I played a little bit of just cocktail hour music. And it was a really funny joke that the crowd really loved. I believe I got it on camera, so I'm gonna show that to you right now. So that'll be about it for now. The next thing that we'll be seeing is the parent dances, the cake cutting, and the special events, and then we'll be heading directly into dancing, so I probably won't be seeing you until after we're done here for the night and I'm doing a wrap-up. All right, guys, so I'm gonna wrap this video up really quick. everything following dinner, and the parent dances went really, really well. The dancing went really well. People were on the dance floor for the entire time. Because dinner ran over, we only had about an hour and a half of dancing when we were supposed to have 2 hours of dancing. So a little bit was shaved off of that, but they danced the entire time, played a pretty wide variety of music, everything from 70s, 80s, 90s, today's music, even some Spanish music. So they liked a little bit of everything. They were on the dance floor all night. They had a really great time. People are still here. It's about 20 minutes after the end of the wedding. I think people were sticking around because there was a limo coming for the bridal party. But I am pretty much all packed up, ready to go. I actually leave a speaker and a microphone set up because there was one wedding I did where just a few minutes after I had gotten everything packed up, there were people still hanging out and the fire alarms went off and they said, hey, can you make an announcement, tell everybody to go out those doors? And I said, everything's kind of already broken down. So I always wait to break down last speaker and microphone until everybody or most people are out of the room. So with that being said, that's going to wrap the video up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're getting married in or around Rhode Island in the next couple of years, really, and you're looking for a wedding DJ and you've liked what you've seen in this video, then consider hiring me for your wedding. You can learn more about my wedding DJ services and pricing by going to my website at djalexbrown.com/wedding-dj. I'll also leave links to that in the description and put a card up over here. Once again, thanks for watching. Make sure you leave a thumbs up on the video, leave me a comment if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel. That's it for this one. Peace.